everyone, my name is Evie Lupine. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have another video for you all. Today's video is definitely a little bit random. I just kind of thought of this idea and was like, oh hey, I've never heard anybody talk about this before, but it is really important. So today I want to discuss cleaning, grooming, taking care of your vagina and your vulva, because it is actually pretty important for personal hygiene. But was anybody taught this? Because nobody taught me about this stuff, and oh man, it has been years of trial and error, and I'm gonna share with all of you all of the wonderful things I have learned, because let's take better care of our bodies. And I think the most pertinent place to start would be with the actual washing and daily caretaking part of this whole experience. Now, first of all, you don't need to douche. Your vagina is a self-cleaning organ like your eyes are. It doesn't really need any assistance. If something seems really off, that is when you should get medical help, because you doing a douche is probably not going to solve anything, and it's probably going to make things worse. Now, you do want to clean around the outside, in the labial folds, in the vulvar area, around the clitoris area, and under the clitoral hood. And you want to do that either with just plain water or with plain soap and water as well. Typically a bar soap if you can, some bar just plain unscented soap if you can get that, because the liquid soaps do tend to have alcohol in them, which can dry you out or cause irritation. Ideally no fragrances if you're not sure if your body can handle those yet, because fragrances are really common irritants, and that can just make everything worse. So what you want to do is you want to get in the shower, while you're doing your daily shower routine, you shampoo your hair, you do your body wash. At the end, after everything else has been washed, all of the other dirt and grime has gone away, then you lather up a little bit of the soap of your choice, and you kind of use your fingers to get in through all of those folds, maybe peel back your clitoral hood a little bit, kind of massage in there, clean around there, and then rinse it off. I really highly recommend that when you are doing this, if you have some kind of detachable shower wand, use that. Oh my gosh, if you get anything from this video, get yourself a shower wand. It is amazing. It is a game changer. Use it. If you don't have one, you can cup water in your hands and kind of splash it, but having an actual shower head is so useful, because you can get in there, you can get everything really super nice and clean, making sure you're not leaving any soapy residue behind. It is great. Highly recommend it. You can get a kit to make your shower head into a detachable one. Super easy, from Home Depot or Amazon. Definitely check out getting one of those. When you are doing this, make sure you are going from front to back, not going from back to front, because fecal matter and butt stuff is not the friend of your vaginal area. Do not mix those two in that particular direction. Go from the front towards the back. If you want to use something that is a little bit more purpose-built, I personally really like using the Sliquid Splash Balance. They do make an unscented version of this, which is what I first started using, but nowadays I actually like using this one. It's called Mango Passion. I like the way it smells. It's summery, and it doesn't really leave any kind of heavily scented perfume kind of fragrance behind. Hopefully, just by using kind of those daily cleaning motions, just using a little bit of soap and water, that should really be enough to make sure that everything down there is staying nice and clean. You're not experiencing any kind of buildup. Now, I do have a piercing down there, and one thing that I did learn when I was cleaning my piercing was to use this piercing aftercare spray. This is made by NeilMed. You can buy it from their website. I think they do also stock it on Amazon. And they do have a little nozzle function where it actually sprays out. It is good for any sort of piercing. It does also work really well for genital piercings. This is just sterile saline, which is great. So if you don't have a shower head that's detachable, if you don't have a bidet, this is a great alternative for that, because not only can you use it around your piercings, it does have enough of a force behind it to where it does actually a pretty good job of clearing everything out. It is cold though, so be aware of that. You can't really like make it warm the same way you can shower water, so that can be a little bit shocking. And because this is just saline, you aren't getting any sort of other additives in and around the area, particularly if you know you're sensitive and any kind of fragrances, anything like that could potentially be irritating. Saline is going to be your cleaning best friend. Now, in addition to keeping that whole area clean, you probably want to groom it as well. Personally, I recommend getting like a pair of beard trimming scissors, like the kind that have sort of a little curve up at the end, because that will prevent you from accidentally nicking yourself as much if you do want to keep things nice and trimmed. Personally, the thing that I have recently discovered that has made such a big difference for me is this little tiny bikini trimmer. This is called the Clio. I swear to God, it looks like a vibrator. It's not. It is literally just a little battery operated razor, and it has two ends to it here, and as you guys can see, it has two different ends here. One is more for fine hair, one is for more coarse hair, and I find when I use this, I don't get any razor bumps the way that I do with other styles of razor, like the typical disposable razors. I do not get any razor bumps from this at all. I don't know why, it just doesn't. Now, it doesn't get you the closest shave possible. Even with no guards on it, it does come with several guards, so if you want to maybe have a little bit more hair there, there is an option for that as well. You don't have to completely shave it off. This feels more like if you have a guy in your life with a beard, like day 1 or day 2 stubble. So it's not completely down to the skin, but it does get it quite close, which personally I prefer because I don't like being completely bare. I just don't like the sensation. I don't like the way that it looks. I like having a little bit of something, you know what I mean? So this I think is amazing, and I love it. I don't think I'm ever going to go back to using a regular razor. Now, if you do want to use a full-on razor, if you like getting that really close shave, you can do that totally fine. I just find I get more ingrown hairs from that. When you are using it, I do recommend you get something, you know, like your Sliquid, like your unscented neutral soap, and you use that as kind of the buffer the same way you would if you are shaving your legs. And you want to make sure you are using a sharp new razor, because that is going to pull on the hairs less, and that is going to cause less skin damage. It's going to give you a closer shave, and it's also going to be less likely to cause all of those nasty ingrown hairs. If you really want to help prevent ingrown hairs, I have had waxing before, I've had sugaring before, and whenever I've gone, they always recommend using this one product that is called Tend Skin, and it's basically a dilution with some aspirin to help prevent that inflammation. You can make homemade Tend Skin as well, but because I use that one electric razor now instead of a disposable one, I don't really have to use anything like that, but that is a good option. And you can do sugaring or hard wax. Personally, I prefer sugaring. I did that for like a year, and then I stopped doing it because I went on vacation and I couldn't get sugared, and then it was impossible to get an appointment, so I just said fuck it, never mind, because it is really expensive. It's like $80 every time you go, or maybe $40 to $60 every single time you go and get a touch-up done. So you do have to be consistent, but really, if you're using a good razor, if you find a system you like, you don't necessarily have to go and pay all that money and do that appointment and have the pain of having all of the hair ripped out. Now, some other concerns that you might have might be like dryness or smell, anything like that. Generally, your whole undercarriage region should be somewhat moist. It is intended to be moist. If you find you are a little bit more on the dry side, I know since I have started taking birth control, I tend to be a little bit more on the dry side. And if you are experiencing dryness, Sliquid actually makes a great product that you can use that is meant to be sort of a daily moisturizer that doesn't have any fragrance to it. It is meant, again, for daily use, and it doesn't cause any sort of irritation or bumps or like smell, anything like that. It is very neutral. I find it works well for my personal body Other people may be different, but I really enjoy it and I do recommend it if you are somebody that experiences dryness and that's something that you want to not have anymore. Now, if you are somebody who leans more towards the damper side of the spectrum, if you don't really deal with dryness, you can take a towel after you shower and gently pat around that area to take out some of the excess moisture, which you really should be doing regardless because it's not good for you to have too much extra moisture from like water in that area, although you are supposed to be damp in general, but there is a balance there between natural moisture versus holding on to extra water after you use a bidet or take a shower. And that actually brings me on to one of the other points I wanted to make sure to mention, which is smell. Because smell is something that a lot of people worry about. A lot of people worry, oh my God, do I smell okay? Do I smell at all? And like, your body is supposed to have a little bit of a natural odor to it. If it is like really, really sour smelling or really, really sweet smelling, any sort of extreme smell or anything that's really, really pronounced or like super fishy, that isn't great. That is when I'd recommend going to see a doctor to check to make sure you don't have a yeast infection, because that can happen. But generally you are supposed to have a little bit of smell. That's totally normal. Smell can be caused by any of a number of different things. I know people that get a lot of extra smell when they have a lot of penis and vagina intercourse. That can alter your pH balance a little bit because your body does have its own natural range it is supposed to stay in, and lots of semen can alter that. You can also get extra smell if you're wearing really tight-fitting clothing or clothing that isn't super breathable. That can cause you to hold on to more sweat and body odor. So wear kind of light, flowy things if you can, things like undyed cotton. That can help regulate things out if you are having problems with smell. And also making sure you're taking care of that extra moisture when you use a bidet in a shower, making sure you're not holding on to too much just plain water. And finally, one last little tip here that I want to share are portable wipes. These are great if you're on the go, if you're gonna visit your special someone, if you're gonna go to the dungeon and you might have somebody that wants to eat your pussy. Like, you wanna make sure that everything around there is pretty clean, but you might not have access to like a shower or some of the other tools that I've talked about. There are actually really great bathroom wipes that you can use that are meant specifically for cleaning that area, which I do recommend. I've used them in the past myself, and they can really help you kind of get through all of those folds, clean everything out to make sure that everything is going to be in good shape just in case you are going to have some sexy times on the go. All right, everyone, those are all of the grooming and cleaning tips I have for you guys today. Hopefully this was helpful. I know, again, that not a lot of us got the education we needed when we were growing up about how to take care of these parts of our bodies. And yeah, just a little bit of smell is normal, being damp is normal, all of that is totally normal. Though, as always, if you are really worried about something, if something changes, if it seems really off, then you would want to go to an actual medical professional, not just my silly advice, to see if something more serious might be going on. If you want more detailed information about cleaning other practices, Sexplanations has a great video where they go over cleaning procedures. I will link to that and other resources down in the description box below. If you enjoyed this, if you want to see more from me, please do subscribe. I make videos twice a week about all sorts of kink and BDSM related subjects. And as always, if you want to support my channel, the best way you can do that is through Patreon. A link to that will be down in the description box below. If you already support me over there, thank you so, so much. It means the absolute world to me. And until I see you guys next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.